Welcome back. John Edwards, Newt Gingrich, Hillary Clinton. Are these names to make a voter's heartbeat faster? So apparently they are. Party loyalists think so anyway. But do any of them have what it takes to win the White House? Here to handicap their chances, Air America radio host Rachel Maddow. She's in Washington tonight at the scene of the crime. Rachel, welcome.
Thanks, Tucker. It makes me look even more officially like a pundit, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does. At the Capitol behind you. Let's go in reverse order here. Hillary Clinton. The most interesting thing I've heard about Hillary Clinton in a long time, poll numbers out this past Friday, she's at 51% in New York State. 51% approval rating. That's, of course, lower than the number she won by. I think she won by 54% originally in 2000 against Rick Lazio. That's pretty bad. I mean, that's lower than you'd expect someone to have who's planning a presidential run, isn't it?
Well, it's maybe she's not planning a presidential run. She certainly hasn't declared one.
Come on.
Well, listen, Hillary Clinton has been the presumptive nominee for so long. You and I have talked about this before.
She's raised $27.5 million to run against no candidate. So
right,
yeah.
And what that's meant is that everybody's spent a very long time, months and months and months and months, if not years, talking about all of the reasons why, what a Hillary Clinton presidential run could mean, and all of the reasons why that's a good or bad thing. I mean, she's had a target on her for a really long time. She gets attacked every night on cable news, no matter what happens in the rest of her day. Most other senators don't have that happen. She's got an incredible spotlight on her. I think it's going to affect her.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, she's running for president, at least at this point, and who knows? Maybe numbers like this will dissuade her. But at this point, you got to admit that's strikingly low. She's had 6 years to make her case to the voters of New York. We hear so much about what a popular senator she is at home. 51% is not a very high number. John McCain, by contrast, in Arizona, 70%. You know, there are other senators who aren't at 70, but 51 is pretty low if you're planning to use your home-based support as a launching pad for your presidential aspirations.
Tucker, the whole idea that she's weak, she's vulnerable in New York State would tend to lead you to believe that she was maybe going to have some trouble in a re-election bid this November. I honestly, as a person who lives part of every week in New York City, cannot tell you the name of the Republican who is running against her. I mean, the Republican Party, literally in the entire state of New York, can't come up with a candidate to run against her. So it's not like she's in trouble.
And they're all drunk. No, it's pathetic. I agree, and that's why she's running for president, because you don't need $27.5 million to beat a drunk guy who no one knows, right? Okay. John Edwards, his name, he famously in this latest sort of semi-phony poll in Des Moines, Iowa the other day, won among Democratic activists. I think most people who don't follow this stuff for a living are surprised to learn that he's still running for president, lo these many years later. Do you think he's got any kind of shot?
You know, it's interesting. I think that if John Edwards had done one term in the Senate and then left and spent his time out of the Senate doing the kind of things he's done since 2004, and he never had done that little thing that was called running for vice president, I think he actually might be a very, very viable candidate right now. The fact that he ran for vice president with Kerry probably hurts him heading into 2008. People don't generally like second helpings of their presidential and vice presidential candidates in this country. But the way that he's been spending his time since 2004, I think, is very enthusing to Democratic activists, and he's been talking to all the right people and doing all the right things since that election.
If only he had a message. He's such an appealing guy. I think he's a good guy to talk to. He's got it all except something compelling to say, but maybe...
I totally disagree. I actually think that he really is one of the reasons that it's a good thing for him that he's peaking kind of very early. I don't know if he's peaking, but he's at least getting some attention very early in this presidential race. This Iowa poll certainly helping, is because it does put his issue, which is the concerns of working people, right? It puts those on the agenda for all potential Democratic candidates, and that's one of the things that's really good about having a strong issue and getting it out there
But
early.
Democrats don't win elections with working people. They win elections with poor people and with upper middle class women with master's degrees. Working people actually don't vote Democrat all that much anymore. As you know, Newt Gingrich, tell me. Is Newt Gingrich, when you hear the idea that Newt Gingrich might run for president, do you smirk? Do you laugh? Do you shake in your boots? Do you think this guy can win? What's Rachel Maddow's response to that?
I rub my liberal hands together in glee and cackle. The idea of Newt Gingrich being the nominee is almost almost better to me than Bill Frist being the nominee. Just the idea of him campaigning on having led the crusade for Clinton's impeachment while he was working on wife number 2 or number 3, serving the divorce papers on the wife with cancer in the hospital. I mean, the man would.
Personal. I mean, who cares
That's
about
very
that
personal,
stuff? I
but
thought the whole point of Clinton was we're not supposed to care, so you're a creep in your personal life.
Right.
Isn't that that's the whole Democratic platform? You can be as weird as you want when the cameras are off, but, you know, we're not allowed to ask questions about this. So who cares if he served divorce papers to his cancer-ridden wife?
I am all about people being as creepy as possible in their personal lives. You know, I've made that a personal crusade, but you can't simultaneously lead the crusade for somebody's impeachment for lying about sex while you are serving divorce papers on your wife who is in the hospital with cancer and then marrying your congressional staffer.
But notice the difference.
Just can't do that.
He was the one in this case who was serving, not being serviced, and that right there is the crux of the difference between the parties. Rachel Maddow, thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.
Still to come.